Welcome to our exploration of resilience in housing across the globe. In this video, we'll highlight 3 countries leading the way in protective building practices: Japan, the Netherlands, and New Zealand, each showcasing innovative strategies to withstand natural disasters like earthquakes and floods. Conversely, we will also delve into 7 nations, including the United States and Bangladesh, that face substantial risks due to inadequate infrastructure and environmental challenges. Join us as we uncover the stark contrasts in global housing resilience and what it means for communities around the world. 1. Japan. World leader in earthquake-resistant housing. Japan has long faced the threat of devastating earthquakes, but its commitment to seismic safety is world-renowned. Since the 1981 Building Standard Law revision, Japan has made earthquake-resistant construction mandatory for all new homes. In 2024, the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism reported that over 90% of newly constructed homes incorporate advanced seismic isolation technology. These methods, such as base isolation and shock-absorbing materials, have been credited with saving thousands of lives during the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and more recent tremors. In addition, Japanese homebuyers can access up-to-date risk maps and government subsidies for retrofitting older structures, further boosting community resilience. Insurance penetration rates for earthquake damage in Japan are among the highest globally, at 62% in 2024, according to the Japan Insurance Association. The result is a society where citizens expect, demand, and receive robust protection from natural disasters in their homes. 2. Netherlands. Pioneering flood-resilient urban design. The Netherlands is famous for its ongoing battle with water, as over a quarter of its land lies below sea level. In 2024, the Dutch government allocated €2.6 billion to reinforce dikes and expand its Room for the River program, which creates floodplains and adaptive housing. Dutch homes in flood-prone areas now routinely feature floating foundations, elevated living spaces, and waterproofed basements. Cities like Rotterdam have introduced water plazas and blue-green roofs, turning neighborhoods into mini reservoirs that safely absorb excess rainfall. The Deltares Institute reported in March 2025 that, thanks to these measures, flood-related home damage dropped by 41% over the past decade. The Dutch approach is now studied worldwide as a model for climate adaptation, blending cutting-edge engineering with a culture of preparedness. 3. New Zealand. Strict building codes for earthquakes and storms. New Zealand, straddling the Pacific's Ring of Fire, faces both earthquakes and increasingly severe storms. Since the destructive 2011 Christchurch quake, the country has adopted some of the world's strictest building codes. According to the New Zealand Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment, 98% of new homes constructed in 2024 met or exceeded the Importance Level 2 inches seismic standard. These buildings use reinforced concrete, flexible steel frames, and specialized wall bracing to minimize collapse risks. In cyclone-prone areas like Northland, new codes require wind-resistant roofing and anchor systems. The Insurance Council of New Zealand reported in February 2025 that, while the country suffered $1.7 billion New Zealand dollars in weather-related losses in 2023, homes built under the latest codes were 4 times less likely to suffer major structural damage. Educational campaigns further encourage ongoing retrofitting of older properties. 4. United States. Rising disaster losses and a patchwork of protection. The United States faces mounting risks from hurricanes, wildfires, floods, and tornadoes, yet its housing resilience is highly uneven. According to NOAA and FEMA, 2024 saw $92 billion in weather-related damage, the second highest annual total on record. Although Miami and Los Angeles have adopted strict wind and seismic codes, a March 2025 National Institute of Building Sciences report found that only 35% of American homes nationwide meet modern disaster-resistant standards. In states like Florida, where Hurricane Idalia caused $3.4 billion in damages in 2023, many older homes remain vulnerable due to grandfathered codes and underfunded retrofitting programs. Federal insurance coverage is patchy. The National Flood Insurance Program currently covers just 4.7 million homes, leaving millions more exposed. As climate risks accelerate, experts warn that millions of American homes remain at risk without systematic upgrades. 5. India. Urban growth outpaces resilient housing. India's rapid urbanization has left millions exposed to floods, cyclones, and earthquakes. A 2024 study by the Council on Energy, Environment and Water found that 54% of India's urban housing stock is informal, lacking basic disaster-resistant features. In coastal cities like Chennai and Kolkata, the 2023 monsoon season displaced over 2.3 million people due to urban flooding. While new government initiatives such as the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana aim to build affordable, resilient homes, progress has been slow. Only 12% of new government-backed homes in 2024 included certified flood or seismic resistance, according to India's Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Retrofitting of older structures remains rare, and insurance coverage is below 5%. The country's vulnerability is further highlighted by rising heat waves, with 2024 recording the hottest March in 122 years, putting poorly insulated homes at further risk. 6. Bangladesh. Millions at risk from cyclones and floods. Bangladesh is one of the world's most disaster-prone countries, with over 30% of its population living in areas at risk from cyclones and river flooding. The Asian Disaster Preparedness Center reported in January 2025 that over 8 million homes in coastal Bangladesh lack cyclone-resistant construction. Following Cyclone Mocha in 2023, which displaced 1.2 million people, international NGOs and the Bangladeshi government launched pilot projects using reinforced bamboo and raised platforms. But as of 2024, only 7% of new rural homes met cyclone-resilient standards, and most urban expansion remains unregulated. The lack of comprehensive flood insurance means families must often rebuild on their own after disasters. With sea level rise accelerating, up to 8 mm per year along the Bay of Bengal, the housing crisis is likely to deepen unless large-scale reforms are enacted soon. 7. Philippines. Typhoon Alley and vulnerable housing. The Philippines faces an average of 20 typhoons annually, yet millions of homes remain ill-equipped to withstand them. In November 2024, Typhoon Bising destroyed or damaged over 150,000 homes in eastern Visayas and Bicol. According to the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, only 22% of new residential construction in high-risk zones used typhoon-resistant techniques in the past year. Informal settlements, which house an estimated 16 million Filipinos, are particularly exposed, often constructed from lightweight, non-durable materials. Government programs such as the Build Back Better initiative have improved standards in some areas, but widespread enforcement lags due to funding and governance gaps. Insurance coverage for typhoon damage is below 10%, leaving most families financially vulnerable after each disaster cycle. 8. Nigeria. Urban flooding and weak building enforcement. Nigeria's booming cities are increasingly plagued by flooding, with Lagos and Abuja experiencing record rainfall in 2024. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency reported that 1.7 million residents were displaced by floods last year alone. Urban expansion often occurs without official permits or adherence to building codes, resulting in widespread use of substandard materials. A 2024 World Bank report found that, in Lagos, just 18% of new housing construction met basic flood-resilient guidelines. While the government launched the Safe Home Initiative in late 2023 to improve standards, enforcement remains inconsistent and corruption is widespread. Insurance penetration is negligible, compounding the risks for low-income families. The combination of rapid urban growth, climate change, and weak oversight leaves millions exposed to repeat disasters. 9. Indonesia. Coastal risks and earthquake exposure. Indonesia faces dual threats: frequent earthquakes and rising sea levels. The National Disaster Management Authority, BNPB, reported in February 2025 that, despite updated codes after the 2018 Sulawesi quake, only 29% of new homes nationwide are built to current seismic standards. On Java and Sumatra, Unplanned coastal development continues, with over 2.5 million homes at risk from flooding or erosion. A 2024 study by the University of Indonesia found that retrofitting costs remain prohibitively high for most families, and government subsidies cover less than 10% of those in high-risk areas. The lack of affordable earthquake and flood insurance leaves millions with no safety net. As disasters become more frequent and intense, the country's housing resilience gap is set to widen. 10. Pakistan. Earthquake and flood hazards outpace preparedness. Pakistan's exposure to both earthquakes and catastrophic floods is well documented. After the deadly 2022 floods, which damaged or destroyed over 2 million homes, the government pledged to upgrade building codes and relocate vulnerable communities. However, as of March 2025, only 6% of rebuilt homes in Sindh and Punjab met the new flood-resistant standards, according to the Pakistan Engineering Council. In earthquake-prone regions like Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, a 2024 survey by the National Disaster Management Authority found that fewer than 15% of homes had any seismic reinforcement. Many families continue to rebuild using traditional mud or brick methods, which provide little protection against disasters. Access to formal insurance remains below 2%, forcing communities to rely on limited government aid or charitable support after each emergency.